Welcome to The Explainer. We spend so much time making websites look good, but what if the real magic is in making them smart? Today, we're digging into the architectural secrets of HTML. We're talking about code that's future-proof, accessible, and basically a VIP pass for search engines. And it's all hidden in the HTML you think you've already mastered.
So, let me ask you this. What's the real difference between code that just works and code that's truly professional? I'm talking about the kind of web page that search engines and screen readers just get. It's not some fancy, complicated JavaScript library. Nope, it's actually something much, much simpler. And it's been right under our noses the whole time.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to talk about the big idea, the semantic web. Then, we'll see how that single concept leads to amazing accessibility and SEO wins. And finally, we'll get our hands dirty with some seriously cool stuff in modern forms and global attributes. Let's dive in.
Okay, first up, the semantic web. Let's talk about the big problem we're trying to fix. For way too long, we've all been guilty of creating something called div soup. You know what I'm talking about? Just a messy pile of generic boxes. Sure, it might look okay on the screen, but for a browser or a search engine, it's just a meaningless jumble. It's like giving someone a book with no chapters or paragraphs.
And this slide just nails the difference. Look at the left. That's the div soup. It's like a pile of bricks. A machine looks at that and has no clue what it's supposed to be. But on the right, that's the blueprint. It's a house. It has a header, a navigation bar, a main area, a footer. The browser gets it instantly. It sees the foundation, the walls, the roof. It understands the purpose.
So what are we really talking about here? Semantic HTML is dead simple in concept. Use the right tag for the right job. That's it. It's about choosing elements that actually describe the content inside them. I mean, you wouldn't use a wrench to hammer a nail, right? So why on earth would you use a generic div when you have a perfectly good article tag just sitting there?
And that quote really hits the nail on the head. This isn't just about writing cleaner code. It's a total shift in how you think. You have to stop thinking just about the visuals, how things look, and start thinking about the meaning, what things are. Once you make that mental switch, everything changes. And the knock-on effects are huge, which leads us right into our next section.
All right, next up, accessibility. And this is where things get really cool, because one of the best side effects, if you can even call it that, of writing good semantic HTML is that you get incredible accessibility pretty much for free. Seriously, zero extra effort.
Okay, so check this out. Imagine you're using a screen reader. With old-school div soup, it's like trying to navigate a city with no street signs. You're just lost. But with semantic HTML, those tags, like nav and main, act as giant clear landmarks. The screen reader can immediately announce, okay, here's the navigation, or we're now in the main content. This means a user can just say, skip the nav, and jump right to what they came for. It's a total game changer.
So here's the golden rule, and you should tattoo this on your brain. Native HTML first, always. Look, area attributes are great. They're super powerful for patching things up when there's no native element for the job, but they're a fallback, not a first choice. A real nav element is always going to be better than a div you've tried to disguise as a navigation bar. Let the browser do the work for you.
So we've seen how this helps users with screen readers. But guess who else loves a clear, meaningful structure? Yep, search engines. When you build with semantics, you're not just creating a user-friendly site, you're handing Google a perfectly drawn map of your content.
You're essentially making the search engine's job a piece of cake. An H1 tag screams, hey, this is the most important heading. An article tag says, this block of text is the main event. When you take away all the guesswork for Google's crawlers, they reward you. We're talking better indexing, improved rankings, and even a higher chance of getting those fancy, rich snippets in the search results that everyone wants.
All right, we've got our solid semantic foundation. Now let's talk about something we all love to hate, forms. They can be a real pain to build and a nightmare for users. But the good news is, modern HTML gives us a ton of amazing built-in tools to make them so much better.
Get this. You can forget writing a mountain of JavaScript just to check if an email address looks like an email address. HTML5 has these incredible validation attributes baked right in. Just add required to an input and the browser won't let the user submit the form if it's empty. Use type equals email and it handles the format check for you. This gives users instant feedback and saves you a ton of work. It's a win-win.
And the toolbox is just packed with goodies. Why would you ever build a custom date picker again when you can just use input type date and get a perfect native one on every device? Or check out Data List. It gives you an autocomplete dropdown with barely any effort. And don't forget fieldset and legend.
They group related controls, which makes complex forms way easier to understand, especially for folks using assistive tech.
Okay, for our last section, we're going into the pro-level stuff. We're talking about global attributes. Think of these as superpowers that you can give to pretty much any HTML element to unlock some seriously powerful functionality.
Yeah, this is your new favorite toolkit. We all know ID and class. Those are the basics, but if you ever use content editable, you can literally turn any text on your page into a mini text editor with that one attribute. It's wild. And the data dash attributes? Oh man, these are a total game changer. They let you embed your own custom data right into your HTML, making it super easy for your JavaScript to grab later on. No more messy code.
And here's a little pro tip just for you. Keep your eye on the new popover attribute. This thing is a revolution. You know all that complex JavaScript you used to write for menus, tooltips, and dialogues? The popover attribute handles almost all of it, natively, in HTML. This is the kind of stuff that used to require a whole library, and now it's just built in. This is the future, and it's here now.
So, let's wrap this all up. What's the architect's toolkit we've built today? It's simple, really. 1. Think meaning first, always. 2. Build for accessibility, because it's non-negotiable. 3. Let HTML do the hard work for you. And 4. Keep your code clean. That's how you build like a pro. So what's the one thing I want you to walk away with? It's not just a bunch of new tags to memorize. It's a whole new way of thinking. You're not just styling boxes anymore. You're an architect. You're building with meaning first and making it look pretty second. That philosophy right there, that's the key to creating websites that are built to last.
Hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and it got you thinking about HTML in a new way, you're going to love what's coming next. For more deep dives to help you master your craft, do yourself a favor and hit subscribe over at Robo For Education. Seriously, you won't regret it. Thanks so much for watching.